Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Infogix Data360 overview and demonstration. My name is Sadat Ahmed, and for the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be taking you through a demonstration of the Data360 platform. Just to quickly give you a high-level overview of what the three key components are of the Data360 platform. The first component is the Data360 Govern component, where we allow you to develop your data catalog, your business glossary, and do some stewardship around that. We have a component for the Data360 DQ+, which allows you to build the data quality rules around your data, not just balancing and reconciliation, but also quality and statistical controls, and also the ability to visualize and have case management built around your data quality checks. Then the third component is a Data360 Analyze component, which allows you to connect and acquire data from a disparate number of sources, perform transformation rules, and really be able to automate all of those creations and to allow you to harvest technical metadata for the feeding of your data catalog as well. I'll step straight to the demonstration now. So what you're seeing here is the homepage for this particular environment that we've configured. On the left-hand side, I have my site navigation, which allows me to see my data catalog, my business assets. And again, all of this is configurable, so you can choose to rename these to match what your organization understands. We highlight a global search bar that allows you to search throughout all the assets within your platform. So I can type in the string, hit search, and it allows me to retrieve a set of results based on that string. On the left-hand side here, I get my kind of results broken down by category, so the numbers that fall into each of the categories. And down the center, I actually get my results. If I wanted to, I could come in here and refine this a bit further and say, actually, I'm interested in refining this a bit further down to the fact that I want to add contact in here. You'll see my filter by category, the numbers have changed, and I'm able to get a restriction down to the categories that I'm looking at. In my search results, I get a view of a description of the asset, the name of the asset, a governance score associated with that. So I can see my governance score here on my search results, and any additional configurable fields I can choose to display as well. And if I had a data quality score, I'd see the data quality score associated as well. Now that I found the asset that I'm interested in, I'm going to select that asset, and it's going to take me directly to the definition page for the contact email address in this case that I'm looking at. And I want to be able to identify the additional information that I need from this definition page. So the first thing we're seeing here is what is the name of the asset? What is the description? Is this a critical data element? What is the sensitivity level? And is this PII data? Yes or no? Now, everything you see here is configurable as well. You don't have to choose the field naming convention that we have here. You're able to configure this and match it to how your organization understands. We can identify the responsibility types for the asset and have that view here. So who is the data analyst? Who is the data steward that's associated with this particular asset? Then additionally, we can display some relationship information. So what are the related data quality rules within my organization that directly relate to this asset? What are the related policies that I'm governing within my organization that relate to this asset? Okay. And also we talk about scoring here. So I can see my governance score highlighted. What is the governance score for this particular asset that I'm working with? I can see that here at the top, that is 83% governance score. Moving across to the diagrams that are available, the first one we'll take a look at is our lineage diagram, which allows us to get a view of how the assets flow through our organization, through the technical stack. So here I'm seeing, in this case, that it's moving through a particular SQL Server database. I can choose to see more information about the asset. And on the right-hand side here, I can get some additional information, seeing that this is a column which belongs to a table, a schema called person, and then the database is AdventureWorks. And if I wanted to, I could also expand out the profiling information and see any profiling information that we capture. Minimum values, maximum value, distinct values, the data signature and the structure signature as well. So everything that's captured during the harvesting process from the harvester that we have framework that we've built in Analyze. If I wanted to understand the ownership, I could see the ownership here within the visualization as well. And all of these steps, as I manipulate through them, attract different personas. So if you wanted to restrict this down because you're not interested in such a technical view, you could come in here and very easily filter down what you want to see and say, actually, I'm not interested in my connection, and I just see my more sort of high-level transformations that are occurring. Okay. The next thing I want to move on from looking at the diagrams is just to understand, if we go back to the definition of this particular asset, and we can talk about one of the definitions that we designed here was a relationship to our processes. So we want to understand the processes within our organization that relate to all the various different assets. And we've built that in, and we've allowed you to see those related processes here under the related processes tab. So I can come in here and I can expand out my related processes. I can see I have a number of different assets or processes that relate to this asset. And I might be interested in taking a more detailed look at my online order fulfillment process. And what that allows me to see is what is the name of this process, what is the description, what is the frequency. But what I can also understand is what is the process, what is the business process that is responsible for this particular process. So we can map out our entire business process here to say from the point of the order received to the point where the order has been processed and order fulfillment has been terminated. So what are the steps here? The first one is to check credit worthiness, and then we move forward to a gate and we move forward in our steps. But not only are we allowing you to map your business processes, the key here is to map what business assets relate to the various different steps. So in this check credit worthiness step, I can see that there are two assets related. And if I select that two, I can see what those two assets are as well. So giving you the ability to link the business assets, the technical assets within your platform to the various different steps within the business process as well. So I'll move back towards my contact email address, the rule that we've been looking at here. I'm just going to focus a bit more now on data quality rules. So under rules, we have our data quality rules also being governed within the tool. So I can see all the various rules that are defined here. I can focus on one particular rule here and say for my completeness check, I want to see some more information here about the threshold, the dimension, the name of the rule, the description of that rule. I also might want to link directly out to that rule. And if I hit this, it takes me directly to the actual underlying execution of what the rule that's occurring. So here I'm able to see in a very visual nature, what is the actual rule. So this is occurring from a store which is containing some SAP data. We're having a completeness check run against the contact email address. Some of those checks and the exceptions are being moved to the exceptions queue, and some of those are being validated and moved forward as being successful transactions. So now I get an idea of what the actual underlying execution is for the data quality rule. And I can also come in here and see any cases and manage my cases as well. So if we had some case management cases which were being moved from here, we can move to our case management. We're able to see our case management dashboard that's been built. We're able to say, right, I want to have a look at my actual queues to see who's assigned my assets. I can say, right, for my exceptions, I want to focus on one particular person here, and we will say Sadat. I will specify Sadat and search, and I'm able to see the cases that are assigned to me. So allowing people to take ownership for the exceptions that are being created within here as well. Moving back to the govern component, we can also see the execution results within the govern component here as well. So you can see a summary set of results on the total number of rows, how many rows passed, and how many rows failed, and was it overall a pass or fail, dependent upon that. Not only do we get to see the rule results, we can also view some dashboards around this. So we can see the data quality results in a dashboard as well, and have that dashboard available to us within the Data360 platform. We can also have a various number of different other dashboards. For example, we can also capture a dashboard from Power BI that may have been built in Power BI. So here's a GDPR dashboard, which has been built in Power BI, and it allows you to see for your PII data assets, what is the breakdown by whether they're critical data elements or not, is it special data or not, and what the subject area. And you can also have a tab here for our GDPR classification, so you can see the breakdown by classification and what those data assets are. Okay. Now, moving on from the concept of dashboarding and the governance, is how do we populate some of this data catalog data? So within the Data360 Analyze component, we built a framework which allows you to harvest technical metadata. So here you can see we have two key components. The first component is the harvester, which allows you to connect to your data source and acquire the data. So be it some type of file format, some type of JDBC connection, or some kind of API connection, you just need to make a connection to the source and pull in the information that we need. So being able to extract the technical metadata or the lineage or the profiling information, and then passing that information forward to the connector. And the connector component takes all of that information, transforms it into the required format, and then is able to push that into the data catalog. Okay. Now within the analyze component, we have a vast array of nodes that allow you to do many other things like input connectors, aggregation and transformation of data, performing correlation using maybe fuzzy logic or straightforward merging as well, doing some transformations and metadata mapping, performing some more advanced statistical controls and statistical methods, and then finally outputting of data. So around outputting to visualization tools, sending emails, outputting to the cloud or back to a database. Okay, so that powerful framework allows us to harvest that and push it back to the data catalog. So you come back to the data catalog and you'll have all of your data available within the Data360 govern component. And then just to kind of round things off here, this is one example of an environment, but this is all available to customize and kind of brand as well. So if I come into my administration and settings, I have the options here to choose different logos, choose different web icons. I can also choose a different background here as well. And to show you an example of one that's been customized, I'll just flip across here. This is a very straightforward example of something you can achieve very easily by customizations within the UI and configurations within the UI. Okay. So just to wrap things up then, you've seen the quick overview of the Data360 platform. So the last thing to say is thank you. Thank you for watching and take care.